We asked, what can the city do? Well, for starters, Mayor James says he's working closely with Police Chief Frank Adderley. They've increased foot and bicycle patrols in the area where the homeless are known to gather. They've installed surveillance cameras, and the city's homeless outreach team is growing and working full time to identify the people who do want help. And Liz, as it turns out, that is no easy task.
No, it's not, Jim. Many of the homeless are wrestling with addiction and mental illness, so they don't just raise their hands and sign up for treatment or shelter beds. And as the I-Team's Mike Magnoli found out when he spent the day with the outreach team, it takes a very special kind of person to connect with those who are living on the streets, to gain their trust and to get them to accept a helping hand.
Very special people doing this work, Liz. It was an eye-opening experience. I learned a lot about the people living on the streets of West Palm Beach and the city employees who are trying every day to help them.
Every day, have you been able to take care of basic needs?
Allie Severino is a supervisor for the city's homeless outreach team. Allie oversees the specialists, that's their official title, who hit the streets, getting to know the men and women that we see on the corners, the folks who have nowhere to go and nothing to their name. Allie's group gets paid with city tax dollars to interview the homeless, connect them to resources, and help in a number of practical ways.
We're here to figure out what is the barrier and what is the solution to that barrier and how can we assist.
When CBS 12 News shadowed Allie and some of her crew, they didn't go to Clematis Street, but they canvassed areas about 10 minutes from downtown. Here, on 14th Street and Spruce, we find a group of homeless resting on the sidewalk. For Allie, there's some familiar faces.
Especially the one sitting on the chair type of thing. I've known her since I started here. But the girl that was on the floor next to her, I had never met before. She says she's been unhoused for many years, but I've never met her. So I did see that she was previously enrolled working with outreach workers in 2022, but nothing for a couple years. So I re-enrolled her, got some more information from her, and maybe we'll be able to help.
The outreach specialists can use their phones to search the database. It's a list of names of the homeless with details about their problems and information about if they've been in any area shelters. I learned to get into a shelter, a person needs to have ID and be a resident of Palm Beach County. And in many cases, a homeless person doesn't have paperwork to prove that. But Allie can get that for them.
We might be the only thing they have. When these people are in the hospital, they're calling the outreach team. When they're having a baby, they're calling the outreach team. When their husband dies, they're calling the outreach team because we're the ones that have been surrounding them for so many years.
At our second stop, near an overpass, I meet Hardin Shannon. He's on the wait list for an area shelter. He says the last time he had a roof over his head was in jail. What possessions do you have, Mr. Shannon? What do you have to your name?
My life.
Have you seen these folks around before? Do you know any of them?
Him.
Yeah.
Mary.
And Mary. Many of our area's homeless population have a special rapport with this homeless outreach specialist, Mary Manuel.
I like talking to people. I like meeting new people. Yeah, and I like helping. It makes me feel good.
But Mary tells me people also have to help themselves, like obeying the rules for staying in a shelter. No drug use, don't get arrested, try to find a job. It sounds simple, but not for the people who are addicted or struggling with mental health issues.
They got to show me, too, that they put in effort to help themselves. Yeah, and I help them. You take a step, I take two.
For some, the first step could be walking into this building, the Ava Mack Community Hub on Australian Avenue. It opened in May. Here, the homeless can register with the outreach team to get access to their services.
I know Miss Mary and Miss Abby.
Less than 5 minutes from the facility, we find a tragic example of the city's homeless crisis. On the grounds of the now closed Jerome Golden Center, Crystal, 8 months pregnant, is staying in a tent with her boyfriend.
I've been staying here since Friday, but I've been on the street since August of last year. I got in a domestic violence situation with my ex baby daddy. I've been in the shelters and got out Friday, and they're not seeming to help me with anything.
What do you guys need?
We need a lot of stuff. We need somewhere to put the baby, like I said, toiletries, all that. We need everything.
I asked Crystal if she ever goes downtown to Clematis Street. That's where there's a lot of foot traffic, and the homeless often ask those passing by for change.
No, I don't go down there because of my child. it's too dangerous down there.
There have been fights among the homeless on Clematis Street. Crystal told me that her cousin, who was also homeless, was stabbed over a bicycle in that area. To bring this back to the homeless outreach team, they are working to try to get Crystal into an area motel. These are incredible people with very big hearts, and there's about 10 of them on that team for the city.